On the southeastern coast of Iran, where the Arabian Sea meets the Gulf of Oman, lies the port of Chabahar. This strategically vital harbour has become a focal point in the evolving geopolitical landscape of Eurasia. Chabahar represents more than just a commercial shipping hub. It embodies the intricate dance of international relations, economic ambitions, and strategic rivalries. Situated at the crossroads of South Asia, Central Asia, and the Middle East, it provides access to crucial maritime routes and landlocked regions. India, the United States, and Iran have emerged as key stakeholders in Chabahar, forming an unlikely trio bound by a complex web of converging and conflicting objectives. The recent 10-year agreement to manage Iran's Chabahar port signifies a crucial development in India's regional connectivity goals. Located on Iran's southeastern coast, Chabahar is strategically vital for India, facilitating trade with Iran, Central Asia, and Russia. The port is essential for the International North-South Transport Corridor, (INSTC), an initiative to enhance trade links between India, Iran, and Russia. India's involvement with Chabahar port has drawn attention from the United States, which maintains strict sanctions against Iran. After the deal was signed, the US warned of potential sanctions for engaging with Tehran, highlighting Washington's commitment to its sanctions policy, even at the expense of its strategic partnerships in Asia. Despite American pressure, India remains resolute. Chabahar port is more than an economic venture. It is a strategic necessity for diversifying trade routes and bypassing transit corridors controlled by unfriendly neighbors like Pakistan. By circumventing Pakistani ports, India opens new trade avenues with Central Asia and Russia, boosting its economic resilience and geopolitical leverage. The $370 million pact includes a $120 million investment from IPGL and a $250 million credit from the Indian government for Iran, signaling significant infrastructure development at the port. Since 2018, IPGL has transformed Chabahar into a bustling economic hub, handling over 90,000 TEUs in container traffic and 8.4 million tons of bulk and general cargo. Chabahar has also facilitated crucial shipments, including 2.5 million tons of wheat and 2,000 tons of pulses from India to Afghanistan. India's push to include Chabahar port in the INSTC framework underscores its strategic importance in regional connectivity initiatives. Although Bandar Abbas is Iran's busiest port, Chabahar's closer proximity to India and its deep seaport capabilities make it more advantageous. National Security Advisor Ajit Doval's advocacy for integrating Chabahar into the INSTC framework during an SCO meeting highlights India's strategic vision. With substantial investments of around $500 million since 2016, particularly in the Shahid Beheshti terminal, India is committed to developing Chabahar as a key gateway for the INSTC. The INSTC, proposed in 2002, aims to establish a 200-kilometer network of sea, rail, and road routes to facilitate trade between India and Russia while avoiding Pakistan. Despite initial challenges, recent developments, including increased trade between India and Russia and India's economic growth, have revitalized interest in the corridor. The INSTC offers significant trade potential with the Eurasian Economic Union, EEU, which has a collective GDP of $2.4 trillion and abundant resources essential for India's economy. Integrating Iran through Chabahar enhances India's accessibility and counters China's influence in the region, particularly through the Gwadar port. Strengthening ties with Iran via the INSTC not only bolsters India's energy security but also counters Chinese dominance. China's potential involvement in Chabahar poses a strategic challenge for India, similar to the situation in Gwadar as part of the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, CPEC. By deepening cooperation with Iran and integrating Chabahar into the INSTC, India can counterbalance Chinese influence and prevent Iran from becoming overly reliant on China, as Russia has since the Ukraine conflict began. The US should view India's engagement with Chabahar port and the INSTC as beneficial for countering Chinese hegemony in Central Asia and Iran. Rather than seeing India's investments as anti-American, the US should recognize them as aligned with India's national interests and strategic imperatives. Ensuring India's energy security and mitigating Chinese dominance in Central Asia ultimately serves US interests in the long run. In conclusion, the NSTC through Chabahar is vital for India, offering economic growth, regional stability and diversified energy supplies. By leveraging this corridor and fostering cooperation with Iran, India can protect its interests and contribute to broader efforts to counter Chinese influence in the region. India's strategic engagement with the INSTC is crucial for its vision for Eurasia, promising mutual benefits for all involved. India views Chabahar as a strategic asset in its pursuit of greater influence in Central Asia and Afghanistan. The port offers India a much-needed alternative route to these regions, bypassing its rival Pakistan. Chabahar provides India with a direct sea-land route to Afghanistan, enabling it to transport goods, energy resources and even military supplies without relying on Pakistani territory. This newfound access strengthens India's position in the region and bolsters its efforts to counter Pakistani influence in Afghanistan. Furthermore, Chabahar serves as a gateway for India to tap into the vast energy resources of Central Asia. The port facilitates the transportation of oil and gas from countries like Turkmenistan and Kazakhstan, reducing India's dependence on traditional energy suppliers in the Middle East. India's involvement in Chabahar is a testament to its growing ambitions as a global power. The United States, while not directly involved in the development of Chabahar, has played a crucial role behind the scenes. Washington sees the port as a counterweight to China's growing influence in the Indian Ocean region. China's Belt and Road Initiative, a massive infrastructure project aimed at connecting Asia, Africa and Europe, has raised concerns in Washington about Beijing's strategic intentions. Chabahar, with its proximity to China's vital sea lanes, offers the US and its allies a strategic vantage point. By supporting India's involvement in Chabahar, the US aims to bolster a regional power capable of challenging China's dominance. Moreover, Chabahar provides the US with an alternative to Pakistan for accessing Afghanistan and Central Asia. Following the US withdrawal from Afghanistan, Washington has been exploring alternative routes to maintain a foothold in the region. The US support for Chabahar highlights the shifting dynamics of global power. For Iran, Chabahar presents both opportunities and challenges. The port offers Tehran a lifeline to circumvent US sanctions and boost its struggling economy. By attracting foreign investment and trade, Iran aims to alleviate the economic pressure caused by years of isolation. However, Iran's involvement in Chabahar also carries political risks. The country is wary of becoming overly reliant on any single power, particularly India or the US. Tehran is acutely aware of the potential for its partners to exploit Chabahar for their own strategic gains, undermining Iran's sovereignty and regional ambitions. To mitigate these risks, Iran has sought to diversify its partnerships, engaging with countries like Russia and China to counterbalance the influence of India and the US. This multi-pronged approach allows Iran to leverage its strategic assets while preserving its autonomy. The emergence of Chabahar as a strategic hub has significant implications for regional power dynamics. The port's development is altering the geopolitical landscape, creating new alignments and exacerbating existing rivalries. India's growing influence in Afghanistan and Central Asia, facilitated by Chabahar, is a cause for concern for Pakistan. Islamabad views India's presence in Chabahar as a threat to its own strategic depth and an attempt to encircle Pakistan. The port's development has further fueled tensions between the two nuclear-armed neighbors, adding another layer of complexity to an already volatile relationship. China, too, is closely watching the developments in Chabahar. While Beijing has welcomed India's involvement in the port as a potential boost to regional connectivity, it remains wary of any moves that could undermine its own strategic interests. The future of Chabahar port remains uncertain, subject to the vagaries of geopolitics and the evolving interests of the key players involved. However, one thing is clear: Chabahar is a microcosm of the larger geopolitical shifts underway in Eurasia and beyond. The port's development highlights the growing importance of connectivity and access to resources in international relations. As countries seek to secure their economic and strategic interests in an increasingly interconnected world, ports like Chabahar will continue to attract attention and become focal points of competition and cooperation. Traditional partnerships are being tested, and new ones are emerging, driven by pragmatic considerations and a shared desire to navigate the complexities of a multipolar world. Chabahar Port, once an obscure harbour on the Iranian coast, has emerged as a symbol of this transformation, a testament to the enduring power of geography and the ever-evolving nature of international relations.